Yeah, I mean, I'm just like checking like news sites and stuff, but aside from the Xbox thing, nothing really seems to have happened in games.
Well, like I said, I
Have you
mean, it's
checked the
you know
Escapist?
we're in the post E3 drought.
Have you checked the Escapist?
No, do you want me to?
Yeah, that's where you usually get your stuff from.
Well, it's not my fault they correlate all the news into a nice bundle. I'll go on the Mary Sue as well.
Oh, don't do that.
I love the Mary Sue. Actually, no, I hate Mary Sue. It's a fucking abusive relationship we have.
Paul Giamatti to join Downton Abbey cast? Shit.
Oh, wow.
Really?
Gotta talk about that.
Hello, this is the What About Cynics podcast. I'm here with Aaron,
Whoa.
Simon.
Hello.
There we go. All introduced. Yeah, so nothing's happened this week. So yeah, we just basically two things came out. We're not going to talk about the Xbox thing
We're
because
just gonna complain about Man of Steel.
exactly because everything's been said about Xbox that's going to be said. But it's, yeah, so we're going to talk about two big releases that happened this week. We're going to talk about Man of Steel and The Last of Us. I've played it. These two have watched it, and we've all watched Man of Steel. So let's go.
Well, what are we starting with?
Man of Steel. Last of
Right.
Us can be a little dessert.
Okay. Well, how did we all feel about Man of Steel? Because I was very negative.
Right.
However, you were okay.
I'm sort of average. Aaron seems to be the angriest because he said
Yeah,
he was angry.
well,
so-
I don't know.
There's lots
'Cause
to be angry about.
I would call myself I'd call myself very negative as well. I don't know. I think leaving it an hour has calmed me down slightly, but when I left, I was really pissed off. But no,
Go
yeah.
on.
I mean,
So-
now I'm just kind of 3 out of 10 territory.
So what did you see? What did you see?
I saw a really incoherent screenplay with
Godzilla.
quite kind of jarring visuals most of the time. Though sometimes it did look quite pretty, I'll admit that. And just kind of no direction, kind of very little seeming like planning, a really weird interpretation of Superman, and like completely like fucked up kind of chain of events
By
involving
weird
the
you mean
flashbacks.
original?
No,
I
not
assume.
even.
I assume you mean bloody that, Aaron. Go
It
on.
wasn't even original though, was it? Because it was definitely just another reiteration of Superman, but it was one that was just wrong enough to be awkward. I don't know. Yeah, no, that was.
So what was
disappointment.
Sorry. So like, what do you think of like? Let's start at the most like base level. What do you think of the action scenes?
Yeah, I mean, the action. If there was one kind of saving feature, then I'd say it was probably the action scenes, because some of those were interesting. Like though even then, like the kind of the levels of destructions and stuff really took me out of it. Like just thinking about how kind of like fucking crazy this Superman was. Like, just fucking demolishing everything.
Yeah, I don't think it's even outstandingly good on action scenes because there are no consequences and there's no sort of feedback to anyone's actions. It's just Superman fucking dump tackling people constantly over and over, and then some building gets blown up.
Like some of those buildings getting destroyed, like some of it's so unnecessary. Especially considering like Superman's powers and the Superman's powers are confirmed. Like at any point, he could do any number of things to prevent most of the destruction that happens.
True. The thing I found about the action scenes was like, although yeah, they go on like way too long at points, was the thing that Superman is sort of moving so fast that he's almost unfilmable. Like it's not even really a problem with the directing. Like the free cam style, I don't think was a good idea for a film like Superman.
I agree.
Because you've got people moving so fast, and you've got a camera bobbing around.
Like I'm so glad I didn't see it in 3D.
Yeah, no, that would have been a fucking mess.
Because like we were gonna, because it would have been easier to. We ended up waiting around for 40 minutes instead, and I'm so glad because I think I'd have been sick. Like some of those scenes, like even the beginning Krypton scene, which at points was quite nice. Like I think they put way too much work into Krypton for what it should be in a Superman film, but like some of those were nice, but just like the beginning of that was so fucking jarring.
I quite liked that it was jarring because I thought it highlighted that Krypton was an alien place and he was from a different world.
I guess. I'm not even talking in terms of visuals. I'm talking in terms of camera angles and like the sheer shakiness of it all.
True, it was a lot more sort of
Like unless that's supposed to be kind of like harsh gravity, you can't hold the fucking camera straight.
Well, but the thing about like the Superman action scenes, I just thought like Superman is hitting the point where you can't film him. Like it's like when it's basically like trying to film a tennis match and watching the ball. Like you just can't do that. And I think like Superman is the fucking tennis ball of superheroes. In that he's just too fast.
Though even then, like
you remember that scene where he's chasing General Zod through the city? Like he's like the camera's behind him when he's flying. Like at points that looked funny. Like if you dumped Benny Hill music in the background, that would be funny.
Well, when they were like showing him flying and they do that straight on shot of his face, like it was the fucking 60s, just him pointing his fist out. Like when it's Henry Cavill doing that looks ridiculous.
Yeah, no, I agree, because it's trying to be all dark, and then he puts his fist out. Yeah. Like, why doesn't he like just fly normally?
Exactly, and in some of those fight scenes as well, like there was no natural Withington. Like Superman would get his ass kicked like 15 times over, and then like one thumb tackle, and it'd be done.
Exactly.
Yep, one. It's like there was never. I never felt like I was watching super beings wear each other down. I was watching some really cool visual shit happen, and then it'd be over because it needed to be.
Yeah, I mean,
but
the whole ending itself is a massive plot hole. And it makes itself into a plot hole by showing like how much like ridiculous force and pressure General Zod can take, and then he's defeated just by breaking his neck. Like, how did that not happen earlier?
Which is bullshit because Superman doesn't kill people. What the fuck
is this shit? No, I quite like that because that was...
No, that's bullshit. Like, Superman has maybe two characteristics to him, like, at his core, and one of them is he doesn't kill people.
Yeah, but, like, this is Superman who was forced to kill.
He wasn't forced to kill. You know what Superman could do? He could fly into the sky with General Zod.
I thought him being forced to kill might be quite interesting.
Because he'd already won. He was holding him in like his fucking chokehold. He's about to laser the family. You fly into the sky. Like, he should have done it every single point during that fight, and then he would have been fine. Like, it's complete bullshit.
I think under different circumstances, a hero who shouldn't kill being forced to kill is good.
But then he's all sad about it, and we were never told that him not killing is his thing. Like, it's completely nonsensical.
No, I know. Like, the film's badly set up, but I didn't mind that Superman had killed. Like, I thought that was... It was done badly. I agree.
I think, because now any sequel can't have Lex Luthor, because otherwise Superman's just gonna fucking laser him away.
Who the fuck wants Lex Luthor? Lex Luthor's boring.
They'll just create another plot convenience to make it so that... Like, this thing isn't planned out at all, so they can just do whatever they want with the sequel because nothing made any sense in the first place.
That doesn't make it good. Like, I want a coherent set of movies.
I don't think that this franchise has turned into a massive steaming shit.
Why?
Well, I'd like to see the original plot, like the original script, because I know that Christopher Nolan and David S. Goyer handed in what they said was an appropriate screenplay, and then handed over all creative control to Zack Snyder. So I'd like to know, because I can't imagine that it was that. Either like Christopher Nolan has kind of slightly lost the plot in plotting, like after Dark Knight Rises, because that was a bit of a mess. But like, I can't imagine that like the screenplay was in that state. Like, especially with lines like, "Oh, you know, it always gets worse after the first kiss."
That was complete bullshit.
I think that's if you're just human.
The cinema audibly groaned in our cinema.
Yeah, some of the lines are just horrible. Did you count like
people were chatting and laughing?
Yeah, wait a
second. People were talking and laughing at.
Simon, 32 was my count.
Yeah, 32 shitty one-liners and witticisms in that fucking film.
But
it's
see, because those can't all have been Snyder. I'm sorry, but Nolan must have included some of those little one-liners in there.
Nolan does have bad one-liners. I think it's because David S. Goyer still has never spoken to another human being.
Yeah, like some of the things they were happening, like some of the conversations they were having weren't conversations. Also, the fucking fast cuts. Like, one fast cut happened, like the scene ending. Just all she had to say was yes. Like, what's so wrong about someone saying yes? It's like, yeah, I will fucking learn how to reprogram the Phantom Drive. Like, ugh. End a scene properly. God.
Oh god, that fucking Phantom thing. Like, you just smashed. Like.
Yeah, did anyone understand or have any interest at all in understanding how any of that shit worked? Because it was just like bullshit names for bullshit technology.
Well, even so, like, that made no sense. Like, imagine if our cars worked like that. Oh, you know, there's been a collision on the A38 and it created a fucking singularity. Like,
Yeah.
Also, do
that's
you not think this
insane.
punishment was bullshit? Like, I was talking in the car back on about this, ranting as I'm prone to do, and like the Kryptonians sent the officer coup into prison, yeah.
Yeah.
And then when Krypton was destroyed, which they knew was in 2 weeks, then the officer corps was freed. So all they
Yeah.
did was send the dangerous criminals into space so they could be freed 2 weeks later while everyone else was destroyed.
Yeah,
True.
it doesn't make any sense.
It's
To- to-
completely
to-
retarded.
Yeah, to go after the codex, which they knew was out there.
Yeah, which they knew was out there and they knew they'd won. Like,
It's so strange. Yeah, why is there a kill switch when the planet explodes? Sure,
yeah, and why did they not
By the way,
leave the planet?
I don't know what the Phantom Zone is. I was interested in what the Phantom Zone was. They just kept saying the Phantom
Yeah,
Zone.
the Phantom Zone was just a makeshift prison that Krypton used, but it only makes sense in the idea that they used it ages before they knew they were going to be destroyed, because you'd never send people off to something that would go when you're gone if you're going in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
considering they did seem to have a sort of mindfulness of like other like living species, intelligent species existing, and they know that like the people who they're imprisoning have interstellar travel. Just a genuinely stupid idea.
No, yeah, and I mean they even like you said, there's outposts everywhere, and apparently Zod visited these ones. Also, I love that he's like, I searched for you for an eternity. Like, no, you searched for him for 33 years. That's not too bad. That's...
So
but
what
no,
did you
yeah, I
like-
mean, this is so irresponsible and like ass backwards.
It's a shame.
And that was
'cause
one of the stupid. Go on, sorry.
No, go on.
That was one of the stupid things that needed, like, that got explained that shouldn't have been explained, whereas other things needed to be explained.
Well,
So
I think one of the biggest detriments of the film is definitely the Lois Lane Superman relationship.
Oh,
I
I
think
didn't think that was going to happen.
That is
like,
completely underdeveloped and to such a ridiculous extent. Like, why is she even involved? Firstly, she's a shitty little journalist.
yeah,
Why
I
is
love
she
the way
hanging around the
that.
government? Why do they fall in love immediately?
Why does she get taken onto Zod's ship? There's no way they'd even know she existed. Like, she was purely there so Jor-El could teach her, so she could have relevance to the second half of the film.
Well, I mean, so far as like actors, who do you think? Because I thought Russell Crowe was putting in a good performance.
Yeah, Russell Crowe and the Krypton bit.
He was the most interesting.
Yeah, and like watching the Krypton bit, I just well, in hindsight, I wish the Krypton bit had gone on for a lot longer, or just been the entire film, because what came after it was such a disappointment.
I agree. I mean, Russell Crowe was pretty good. I also thought Kevin Costner was good, though. I think the fact he wasn't in it more was pretty terrible.
Yeah, I wasn't really getting a sense that because I've always heard his father's supposed to like inspire him.
Oh, did you not see? See, I thought that was one thing they actually captured. Like when he tells him not to save him from the tornado, I thought that was a kind of like that hurt.
No, I was getting there. No, I mean it kind of worked, but like he kept saying like, either his father was telling him to be afraid or to be great, and I didn't really get a sense of what.
He was telling him to be cautious.
Cautious, alright, fair enough. Well, that's fine. I mean, yeah, I liked that Kent and like Jor-El, they had different philosophies, but they could be combined to inspire Kal-El. I thought that was good. I thought, yeah, everyone was good. I mean, there were like weird things which were kind of like brought up, but kind of left underdeveloped.
Well, like the
remember,
entire Daily Planet.
Well, it's true, but I mean, I ignored all that Daily Planet thing. Like, who gives a shit? But oh yeah, no. The thing is, like, you remember when Kal-El comes back from, and he says, "I found my parents. I found my real parents." And his mom's all sad. That like sort of level of who is my real mother and father? Like, who do I see as my people? Never really confronted. Just we see the mother really obviously sad, and Kal-El just ignoring her. Like some sort of sociopath.
Yeah,
watching her obviously cry in front of him.
I mean, yeah, it gets brought up a little bit, but no, I agree. It doesn't. I mean, considering that is one of the central plots of what General Zod represents.
Well, it's one of the themes. It's one of the
exactly,
key themes of the movie. But like, I also like that. What I would like to see in a Superman film, which you'd never get to do, because they always have to give like Superman like a physical weakness, like that atmosphere thing, which makes no sense because I'm pretty sure space is a much more bad for you atmosphere than the Krypton atmosphere, because there's no fucking nutritional like nutrients in that atmosphere if you're breathing in. Hold your fucking breath, Superman. But yeah, so
that atmosphere stuff, like Superman has weaknesses, and the weaknesses are fine as they are. I think.
Yeah.
I like that atmospheric thing. Like, oh, the atmospherics of our ships are slightly different, so you're gonna cough up blood for a little while.
Yeah, I thought it was all just like it was part of them trying to introduce a sort of like Dark Knight-ish edgy realism to it, where like, oh, it can be explained with science, but
no.
and like, yeah, and the weakness isn't even really a weakness; it's just a temporary incapacitation. And then they change the atmosphere, and he's released, and everything's back to normal.
What I was expecting from the movie would have been like, because like Superman's weakness should be like his like obsession with protecting Earth.
Yeah.
So I was expecting the action scenes to not just be mindlessly punching with like, oh, you're weak because you're in an atmosphere. I would have thought, because already like the Kryptons who like showed up were fucking strong. Like, how were they so much stronger than like Superman?
Yeah, like they even like this is another thing. They don't even play within their own rules because they're like, oh, you've been exposed to Earth's yellow sun. You're way stronger than any Kryptonian I'd ever imagined to be. And then these Kryptonians hang his ass to him. Yeah,
well, it's not even like he fights better. Like he still dump tackles his way through the movie.
And it's not like they're fighting with like some sort of finesse. Like that guy who's not Fiora was just fucking dump tackling him back. Like he was just watching a fucking rugby match.
Well, the thing I expect from the action scenes would be General Zod would always be protected by he'd always be holding people hostage. Like at one point he says, you know, if you don't sacrifice yourself, we'll kill 1 million more. I thought the whole thing was going to be they'd start killing people, and Kal-El would have to think his way around that because he's not a smart man, he's just a strong man.
But he resolves that in the first place. He doesn't have an issue with that because he does hand himself in.
Yeah, but like even afterwards, like, you know, when him and the guy are fighting, and it's all about like his weakness is just the atmosphere thing. I thought the weakness was going to be, you know, the civilian casualties, and they only bring it in at the end when Michael Shannon says, "Oh, you've won, so I'm going to kill this like group of 3 people." Like, oh, I thought you were going to kill way more than that.
I'm gonna kill all your children one by one.
Not even using like the world engine or whatever the fuck it was called, but like actually
the world engine was such bullshit. Like I'm sorry, we know Superman can get around the world in 8 seconds. He could have kept flying, smashed that thing on the way over, and kept flying.
Yeah, don't terraform while Superman's that's like you know, cleaning the house while like your fucking kids still eating ice cream. Like
you
he's
know what
gonna
cool
fuck stuff up during the
him throwing one world engine into the other world engine, just fucking smash. I mean, then he can destroy a bunch of skyscrapers in one hit. Fuck if I care.
Although that bit where he was under the world engine,
that was
like screaming,
bullshit.
That looked nice.
That
was so unnecessary.
It was unnecessary, but it looked fucking nice.
The main climaxes of Superman's storyline is that he stands under a thing and then goes, and then flies.
And it was a climax that literally looked like a climax.
Yeah, he's just being came on by this massive machine.
Yeah, it did just like it was just like shitting all over him.
Well, like I also like, because Superman's so strong, you could have done more interesting things. Like Superman is like he should have been like wary, because every time like he punched Michael Shannon, like he could have had like the force of like a nuclear blast, like destroying surrounding areas, and like you could have brought in like, oh yeah, Superman
he never cared.
Superman is so powerful, like even he has to be wary of it. So. You could have brought in loads of stuff, but instead, yeah, they went for the boring physical weakness of the atmosphere, which makes no sense. The theme completely falls apart, like, Superman is hope. Well, Superman, like, reveals himself when the enemy turns up, so people wouldn't recognize Superman as, like, this already protector of Earth who they respect. What instead they see is just aliens show up. Oh, and there's another alien. And aliens are just fighting. We don't know that Superman is the good guy.
Yeah, like I love the way that they establish that he's the good guy is that he saves that one guy from the helicopter.
Exactly.
That and then he's like, "This man is our friend."
Like the only like even Superman fucking Returns did a better job of that. Like Superman Returns after 5 years and the people are happy.
Yeah,
like they're all like applauding him because like he is a hero of Earth. In this, he wasn't that. He wasn't Hope.
No.
Like the whole theme of Hope is completely fucked because he hasn't been hopeful. He just sort of turned up.
Exactly, and he's so fucking dire and grim anyway. He at no point does he ever seem like a bastion of hope.
But he doesn't have any character traits other than he smiles and he's charming.
Yeah, I was gonna say the only character and the only iteration of Superman in that has any charm is Clark Kent, and that's because there's just Smallville's Clark Kent. Like that. Whenever he's Clark Kent, he is just being that guy from Smallville.
It's true. And like Clark Kent wasn't really even in this, and like there's no way he can pull off. He's not going to be the nerdy Clark Kent, is he? He's going to be like the sort of he's going to be like the adventures of Lois Lane and Superman.
Mm.
What was it? Was it Lois and Superman?
Yeah, the continuing adventures of Lois Lane and Superman.
Yeah, like he's gonna be that Clark Kent, the guy that just like gels his hair back and he's like, yeah, you can't see me.
Yeah, well, he did have the little glass. I thought he looked surprisingly convincing as Clark Kent.
He's not that big.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and he's apparently losing all the weight he put on for the Superman role anyway. So maybe if they shoot all those scenes together.
Yeah, no, he like I like Henry Cavill's put in a lot of work. And I respect that, and like I'm sure his I've seen him act, like he's a good actor, so I know that everything that he's doing isn't his fault. That's what's annoying. It is all completely alright. It's like just a badly executed.
Well, that's the problem, yeah, because there's even good actors, like we said. I mean, Russell Crowe, good performance. Lawrence Fishburne for the 5 minutes he's in it, good performance. Kevin Costner, yeah.
Really fat though.
Yeah.
He's putting a lot of fucking weight.
Surprisingly
like,
fat.
He's not Morpheus.
He was fat
anymore.
in Predators though as well. It's been a few years.
True. He wasn't that fat in Contagion though.
I was surprised.
He's put on a lot of fucking weight.
I'm always surprised how fat he is in Predators, considering he's supposed to have been starving on a planet for like 20 years. I was like, yeah, he's doing pretty well. Must be a lot of Predators to eat. Yeah, Michael Shannon, pretty good performance, if a bit kind of like flat at points, or one note. But then again, I mean, he was bred for one purpose, so I guess that's acceptable.
Yeah, I didn't really. Yeah, I think they should have pushed that like he's driven by.
Yeah, it only really came through in the last fight, didn't it? It's like
it seems like everything comes through in the last fight. Everything interesting in the last fight. They say, "Oh, this." It's like, oh, okay. Should have probably set that up.
Yeah, but it's such a fucking hollow attempt. There's like, they obviously never put any thought into any of these things. They just like needed some shit for them to say during the last battle, so they came up with this.
Yeah, there's no character. It is just things that are supposed to be like interesting and like philosophical one-liners, which aren't. They're nothing.
You destroyed my soul.
My soul. That's what you've taken from me.
Oh god.
Oh my god, my soul. That's what you've taken from me. Well, if you're human, whatever.
Yeah, fuck. They don't even. I did like that list. Go on.
I still uphold that it is just an average movie, and it didn't make me that angry.
I think it was because like people were saying the reviews were good, and people were saying that the Nolan and Schneider had done it, and it was looking out like it would be interesting, and the trailers weren't terrible, and then just none of it worked.
Trailers were fucking awesome. I was so excited for this movie.
None of them worked. None of it worked together. Like nothing. Like it's really. It's almost kind of tragic.
It's a shame because no one's ever going to be able to touch this franchise again. I was making money, so people will touch it again, but like. It's going to be a while before anyone invests any more money for a big reboot. Because,
I'm going to watch.
Unless they fix it in the sequel,
I'm going to watch the sequel because I don't think it's unfixable. I
think they put so little effort into this that it's probably unfixable just from a standpoint of there's nothing to work with here that is remotely interesting.
And they'll still make the same mistakes again because like clearly they thought they did a good job the first time.
Like, yeah, they had a chance to put in their absolute best ideas for Superman into that film, and that's what they came up with.
Sure, I guess, yeah.
Like, the people on the team have full creative control. Like, you don't say to Nolan or maybe Snyder, but like Snyder's being like, would be Goyer and Nolan's bitch. And Nolan and Goyer definitely get full creative control on whatever they do. They've just made so much money.
True, but they've squandered it all. I mean, because they're both. Well, we believe them both to be talented men. I just don't think Chris Nolan gets Superman, and that's no bad reflection on him. I just don't think either of them really understood what a Superman movie should be.
That's why I'd like to watch the original script. See the original script.
Because I'd like to see how far it was. I'd like to see how good it was.
I'd like to see how Snyder cut it and edited it.
Why are you blaming Snyder for this then?
Well, I mean, I've just heard he had full creative control, and based on what I've seen Snyder do when he has full creative control, he does definitely go for cool action, cool, other than developing stuff. And the problem with this was it was completely underdeveloped, but there was a lot of action. So I mean, to be honest, I imagine actually the script is basically the same. That Snyder hasn't done much, but based on like I know Snyder loves fucking spectacle. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but when you're having like an origin story that's trying to be like pseudo exploratory, then it's not the best time to start going for spectacle.
I saw the Wayne Enterprise satellite, by the way, just on a completely different tangent. Like,
That's right.
I was thinking spectacle, actually, in that fucking satellite scene where he fucking tears it apart.
Yeah.
And apparently the satellite then fucking reigns over Metropolis, which I'm pretty sure is not how the atmosphere works.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
no,
have to
no.
be so fucking precise
Yeah.
to hit that satellite in the first place.
Like, I'm not really sure how that happened, but whatever. But no, that was a nice reference.
Really. And hey, but hey, at least they're in that space atmosphere, that friendly, nutritious space atmosphere. But they keep flying it.
Well, no, because I think you told me this wrong. Because the reason that he fucked up in the atmosphere of the ship is because it was Kryptonian, not because it was outside of Earth's atmosphere.
Yeah, but in like the whole like being cut off from the sun's rays, that works. But like being in a Kryptonian atmosphere, he's like, oh, it's it's not what I'm used to. It's like surely space isn't what you're used to.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sure.
like space is a non-Earth atmosphere.
alright,
Like that is way more fucking hostile than the Kryptonian atmosphere.
I misunderstood
least-
your. Yeah, no, you're right. That is retarded.
It's just, and they do it like so fucking often. He goes into space so many times.
Well, yeah, I mean, I was kind of worried when he went into space the very first time when he was testing all his powers out. I was like, is he gonna fuck this up? Is he gonna like fall to Earth and die or something?
Well, because he hit like the death zone around like 30,000 feet, and they'd be like, "Oh god, I feel really sick." So I mean, like, I guess he can fly to Krypton now.
I guess, but there's nothing there. It fucking imploded, didn't it?
Sure.
So, which is strange because like those those release paragraphs made us think that Krypton was still around. But I'm kind of glad that that wasn't the case.
Yeah, I'm glad Krypton was dead.
What did you like? What did you think of the first kind of like the small like the kind of child flashbacks? Because there was enough of them.
I really like them. I think that's a really good way of doing it.
I mean,
like it's the most basic,
I
unchronological narrative you can get, but
Yeah,
I
I
think it
thought
worked.
they were nicely integrated into the sort of first act. And I mean, the first act I think was the strongest because it was investing us in the character and developing traits. But I thought like maybe there was one child flashback too many. I kind of got the point after a few, but yeah, they were good.
I one thing that sticks out in my mind is when he's locked himself in that cupboard.
Yeah.
And his mother's talking, and they're both being quite kind of like deep.
User
and
entered your channel.
It's like, oh, fly to the island or whatever, and it's just very kind of strange in terms of like you wouldn't say that if you were surrounded by people.
But yeah, with like the childhood stuff, like I think all the bullying, like I didn't really sort of. It seemed really fucking cartoonish. Like yet again, Goya hasn't spoken to anyone ever. Like it was all like,
Hey Parker, you fucking loser. You
Yeah,
loser, Parker.
it was like a
Let's
bad
punch you in
Spider-Man
the
comic.
face.
yeah, basically. And then it was like Clark Kent. Clark Kent would what's his dad's name?
Jonathan.
Oh, yeah, I always think it's Kent for some reason. So yeah, John Kent would like he'd see his son getting bullied, like because they were bullying him outside his work, come up and be like, son, you gotta respect your powers. You gotta respect your powers. It's like, Dad, I'm getting fucking
No, he
bullied
said he
and
asked
beaten
if
up
you're
right in front
alright.
of me.
He said, did they hurt you? He goes, they can't hurt me. You know that. He's like, I meant mentally or whatever.
Yeah, I meant spiritually, son. Did they hurt you? Yeah, Dad, they did. They're fucking something to do. Like, I can't use a bit of his strength. A tiny bit. Like, clearly he's not fucking retarded.
Well, I mean, I don't know. He would, because if he punched him in anger, then he'd probably kill him.
Well, he could push him.
probably destroy Dad's place. To be fair, everything's made of nitroglycerin in that world, so pushing him would hit him into Dad's workplace, and Dad's workplace would explode. So,
and then John would have like
Yeah.
an emotional, it would explode. Like
he'd be like,
everyone's
"I don't hate you, son."
fucking hell, like even the Kryptonians whenever they get angry, like their fucking eyes explode.
God, yeah, that was.
Laser vision. But,
I did think the effect around his eyes when when he was shooting them was alright.
It's all cool. Like all of it looks cool.
It made it look like a humanoid body was synthesizing light into lasers.
Because the thing is, like clearly, like we'll accept laser vision, X-ray vision. So, like clearly, X-ray vision makes a bit more sense. It makes a lot more sense than laser vision. But like clearly, we don't give a shit about.
Right, yeah, like it's just
about,
explaining the wrong things. I mean,
Yeah,
you don't need
exactly.
to explain these things.
Yeah, we don't give a shit. Yeah, when it's being all crazy. So just explain the character, and that's fine. Although actually, the X-ray vision wouldn't really work because don't you need you'd need like a bit of a light where X-ray vision wouldn't pass through to see it, wouldn't you? See the bones.
Well, he has. Oh, I see. What see the background or
You
whatever.
need a black backplate.
Well, we can focus on what he sees, can't he? We know
Oh,
that.
baby.
So he can. Yeah,
There we
we can
go.
set the depth perception of what he's seeing.
Well, Aaron, now that you fixed that plot hole, the whole movie is fine.
No good. Fuck it. I'm never defending this movie again.
It was alright. No, it didn't piss
Oh,
me off.
boy,
I was kind of tired while watching it, but like, I
Did you
think
see-
the judgment of a movie is if I'm sleepy and I watch it and it's alright, then it can't have been that bad.
Did you see that Goya stated like a few days ago that Bruce Wayne exists in the obviously because there's a fucking satellite with his name on
Yeah.
in the Superman universe, but it's not the Dark Knight universe.
Oh,
So it's almost definitely confirmed not to be Christian Bale, which is good.
fair enough. I guess if they really, want to make this Superman Batman combo, then yeah.
Well, I mean, Bale's already said he's never doing it again, hasn't he? So I guess it was kind of inevitable, but we were just wondering how much money they'd offer him.
As long as it doesn't soak up any more of Nolan and Bale's time, then I'm fine.
Well, it's gonna. So I think this will soak up a lot more of Nolan's time.
I know, like from what I've heard, the fact that they just like wrote an adequate script and then gave it to Snyder, like that couldn't have taken like more than a few.
Well, no,
fucking-
he was producer as well. I mean, he was there on the sets and stuff.
So is his wife. I assume she
Really?
did. Yeah, maybe she was handling most of it.
I always
Maybe-
get shocked when I remember he has a wife.
Maybe Nolan was looking after the kids.
I love the way you're just trying to like subtly distance him from this. It's like, no, this is his
Yeah, no.
shit wreck as well. He fucked up.
Listen,
He fucked
I,
up.
I know Nolan made a mistake. We all make mistakes. Goya's made a few more mistakes. That's why he should be berated more.
Goya's wrong.
Goya certainly made the same mistakes
Yeah.
that Nolan has. sure.
Goya's career mirrors Christopher Nolan's career.
I'm not sure about this.
Unless you're getting like the fucking Da Vinci's Demons, which I know you haven't seen, then you cannot say
I've
that
seen an
Nolan's made-
episode of Da Vinci's Demons.
I bet you haven't.
I have. I watched it. It
God,
was
fuck.
shit.
How was it?
It was rubbish. It just like had a flying machine flying around, and it was just. It was really. Yeah, again, it was like people talking to other people who have never written from the mind of a man who sat in his room all day drawing fucking tats on his arm and reading Superman comics and not understanding them.
Well, there we go. Then. I don't know. I think this is all three men suffered a terrible lapse in judgment when they decided this was good enough to put to print.
But maybe Superman, maybe it's a really clever meta idea that Superman will always be Superman's ultimate weakness is the writer because no one can ever write him well. Goy is sitting there just being a fucking self-referential asshole.
There was one theme I noticed in it.
Go on.
Man of Steel is all about capitalism versus communism.
Will you shut the fuck up, huh?
Go on. Then.
Because on Krypton, you have the system
Oh,
where
the assigned roles thing.
yeah, you have an
Yeah.
assigned role, and
Okay.
that's like you're biologically designed. You literally can't escape your assigned role, and everyone works together in the society. And General Zod represents that side of things, and like that's like the source of his madness. Whereas by contrast,
Communism is
like-
madness.
yeah, I suppose so.
You're saying,
And Yeah,
Communism gets its neck broken by capitalism.
Yeah, like,
Yeah, and
well, it's
Superman-
firing lasers out of its eyes.
Go on. Sorry.
And Superman represents Earth, or more specifically America, because America is the only country ever shown. And obviously America are bastions of capitalism. And so Superman, even at the end, he says like I'm an immigrant, I'm from space or something. It's one of the shitty one-liners. But basically pointing out like also the side of capitalism where like workers come from all over the world to congregate and excel each in their individual pursuits, just like Superman does.
Yeah, but most like
I was going to say
immigrant-
communism's
most
pretty
immigrants aren't, you know,
And
fired
communism's
out
pretty
of-
international as well, though. I mean, like people flocked all over to join communism to begin with, irrespective. And you know,
communism,
it literally doesn't care about your kind of race or nationality or whatever.
and then it exploded.
Well, I mean, like, because America was built by immigrant labor, right?
Reportedly.
Yeah. Well, but America is entirely immigrants.
Goya didn't write this. There's no way Goya wrote this.
I don't
yeah,
know.
so
I mean, he's a pretty big
That's
comic.
the
book
highly
kind of guy.
Americanized theme of Man of Steel.
Also, not the only place shown. He flies over Dover, and
Oh yeah, he does.
some Japanese is spoken.
He flies over Africa as well.
Yeah. Oh yeah. God,
You
that
see
looks
some
so
Africa?
bad.
He flies.
That
yeah,
looked
that was,
horrible.
I think it was really odd. Just see men just flying around.
Yeah, just loving it.
That was it. It was like,
And he
oh,
talks to
shit.
some Inuits as well. Like, yeah, the Inuit population is probably going to be the ones hiding Superman.
Well, I wasn't really like sure. Like, was Superman working odd jobs, or was he looking for Papa's scout
Yeah.
ship?
That was
Because he seems to have fucking stumbled upon that by accident.
No, yeah, he was looking for. He that's why he was in like fucking obscure places all the time. That's why he was always in like snow or rain or whatever.
But how did he know
I just think
that
it's
scout
strange
ship
that
was
he
around?
always- I think it's strange that he always was like just doing his day to day, and then suddenly like a massive disaster is happening, like it ain't no thing. Like it's the most normal thing in the world for an oil rig to catch fire.
Yeah.
Well,
But
the
no,
thing
I
is,
mean,
like,
I have no idea how he knew. Well, I mean, you know, he was 33 by the time it happened. So we assume he started work at 18. He was searching for a while before he found it.
User
love that,
entered
like-
your channel.
I love that, like in like certain points, like Superman will
Oh yeah.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
This is getting tedious.
It's a good thing speaking, yeah.
Hey, wait a second, you can
I'm
mute
watching
him. Just
it.
do that.
Oh yeah. Oh motherfucker bitch.
There we go.
Oh, that's easy.
Why didn't we think of that with Alex? Oh.
Well, there we go. I'm glad we heard him say "motherfucker, bitch."
Motherfucker bitch.
Fuck you.
So he's
So anyway.
muted, right? He's muted, right? He can still hear us.
Yeah, you can hear us.
Okay, cool.
But, you
But
know.
all he can hear is our jibes, and he can't retort.
Oh shit! It's probably just yelling.
He can
motherfucker.
listen
He's
to
probably
the-
yelling all sort of random swear words together.
The early version of our podcast, new and exclusive.
I can't even remember what I was going to say.
We're talking about Superman finding odd jobs.
Yeah, yeah,
before
so,
he
yeah,
became
but like
Superman.
I like that like Superman has like different breaking points. Like either Superman will break and leave a job when a fucking oil rig explodes, or he'll leave a job when a man pours a drink
User
over his
disconnected
head.
from your channel.
Like yeah, that man pouring a drink over his head, like that's way too much to take.
Well, I think it was because afterwards he needed to go outside and cool down, and then he decided to impale his truck 5 times over.
Well, you know what I like, and also the guy didn't hear that.
Yeah,
Didn't
no
hear
one
Superman
heard
going
that. No,
fucking
no
nuts.
one heard a truck being ripped asunder by
And
fucking
also
wood.
The thing is, like, that woman's getting sexually harassed, and Superman steps in to save him, and then he leaves. Like, that woman's just gonna get sexually harassed some more.
Well, it's better than the alternative, which is he fucking murders everyone.
I think Superman should, chill the fuck out.
I think Superman has legitimate strength issues. And I think that was one of the better bits where he because everyone was expecting him to just fucking punch him and it would be really satisfying and stuff. But no, he was a bigger man. He just walked out. I thought that was alright. I thought the fucking scene where he was fucking burrowing into the ice with lasers made no sense considering he was surrounded by fucking monitoring equipment. Like, how did no one notice that happening? Like, oh, there appears to be a fucking 5 million degree radiance spike in the left quarter, sir.
Oh Christ! But yeah, the whole. I don't know. Him looking for the scout ship. I didn't. It seems like he stumbled upon that by accident. Like, why would he assume there was a ship around? I assume that the ship he came in was pretty fucking massive for a little baby. So like,
Well, you saw the ship he came in.
I don't know when
They-
he's being
they-
loaded into it, it looks massive.
They stand by it a bunch of times in the farm. It's like underneath the farm, isn't it?
Yeah, true.
Yeah. I mean, that's just. That's
I
yeah. I
mean-
mean, it's a big ship for his child. Yes, I agree. But you know, it had to carry Crypto the Superdog in it, so
And Supergirl, where's Supergirl?
Superdog comes later.
Where is she living? Was she like holidaying?
No, she got just detoured the little shuttle.
Oh, okay.
God.
So how fucking old is she when she turns up?
Younger than Superman? Don't ask.
Right, okay.
Kryptonians age weird, alright? Unless you're Superman in this origin story.
Yes, the thing about the
Also, General Zod didn't age a day, just grew a little grey goatee during the time.
Yeah, no, yeah, he kept himself in quite good shape.
Yeah, especially considering he was fucking, like, you know, scouring the universe.
What I liked is, you remember when he said, we've got to turn Kryptonian atmosphere, we've got to change the Earth's atmosphere to Kryptonian atmosphere because how can we let our people suffer in pain? Try to get used to this atmosphere. And it's like, well, you know, fucking General Zod, you got used to it after like an hour. I'm sure you'll be fine. You don't have to change the entire fucking world's chemistry.
But remember, he lives to protect Krypton, not Krypton and Earth.
But
think how
yeah,
long,
I guess.
think how long they would take having to adapt. It would be at least 33 years.
So yeah, it's like, what is it like? Yeah, General Zod must protect not even the idea of Krypton or Kryptonians. He must protect everything similar to Krypton, even the fucking atmosphere composition. Why would you be so angry? Like,
He put the codex inside his son. Does he have to be alive to extract it? No, making the plot point completely mute. Excellent. I would hate to have to try and capture Superman or something. That might be interesting.
and then he captures him several times over, doesn't he? He tries to.
Yeah, well, you know, he has him lock, stock, and barrel. Like fucking extracts his brain or whatever.
God, bringing out the fucking Earth machine makes no sense.
I love the way they foreshadowed that. It's like we scanned the outposts for many years. We even found a welding machine. It's like, oh, I wonder what a welding machine is. That was fucking outposts as well. Like, oh, apparently apparently if you don't give outposts any food, they die. Like the Kryptonian government seems so heavily poorly run.
Yeah, it's like everyone retreat from space. We're gonna just sit on Krypton now.
Also,
We're gonna sit on Krypton, but just being Kryptonians, because that's the new government policy.
like, you know, General
it's
Zod
like
was
like a
leader
fucking-
of the armies, yeah.
Yeah,
Like, and you know he led a coup.
yeah.
Like so but then the coup was stopped, yeah. So and then they were all sentenced,
Yeah.
and 8 of them were sentenced. Like, was that the coup or what?
I think it was a small group.
But he's in charge of the military. I got no idea what was up with that.
Yeah,
Like,
especially a military where the planet's about to explode. Like, I doubt anyone would ever bring them to justice.
like, it was so it made absolutely no sense why there was just like 9 of them, and like, you know, he barges into the main room, shoots the fucking prime minister or whatever, then spends the rest of it just winning a private feud with his friend, and then is surprised that his coup fails.
yeah, instead of like continuing on his war, he just has an argument.
He just gets pissed off at his scientist friend, like chases after him, tries to kill his son. Like General Zod was a terrible commander.
A scientist friend who is incredibly good at fighting for someone who's supposed to be genetically engineered to be a scientist.
True, actually, yeah, he should never have been. Like,
Jesus. Yeah, I mean.
it was just everywhere. I mean, there's yeah. I mean, some of it looked alright. Like it looked good. I think if I'd watched it with the sound off, it might have been a really good film. Like if I just didn't, you know, I could fill in the blanks. I'd be like, oh yeah, this is Drought. This is going on for a bit longer than necessary, but I'm sure it's alright.
It does look good, and aside from like the kooky like bits of like like when Superman's not even kooky. Why did I use the word kooky? Like Superman flying around where it's just too fast, and the dump tackling is just like blah. Like it's loads of like, oh look, we've used a grade palette of colors.
Well, it was like a
to make
bad
it look-
video game at points, like especially when Thora was fighting the woman, like and she'd be like taking down multiple guys and stuff, and you'd be like, this is obviously supposed to look really cool and kind of Matrixy, but it just looked like a kind of bad Assassin's Creed combat mechanic system, and I just didn't really know why it existed. Yeah,
Press square to dump tackle.
It just looks like she was countering everyone. Just like, I was like,
Press square to dump tackle and L1 and square to cough up blood.
Is there going to be a game actually? Because the game would have the most hilarious combat system.
Definitely. Well, the game would be fucking insane. Like, you just wouldn't be able to control that.
God,
It would sort of be like, imagine trying to control Superman in a game. Like, you can barely control like fucking Ridge Racer when you got or Burnout when you got the boost on. So what Superman's gonna be like flying around the Earth in 8 seconds?
Yeah, this is the thing.
You
Because
would-
I swear, like, because a combat could easily incorporate Superman flying around the Earth in 8 seconds. Like, you could have a thing where he fucking picks up Thor, just fucking smashes her around, and smashes her into the ground, and that's fight done. Like,
You know
that'd
what
be
I'd
an
have done?
excellent closing fight.
You know what I'd have done with Superman flying really fast around the Earth?
Made him
I'd have
reverse
made
time.
him. Yeah, I'd have made him fly opposite to the Earth's rotation to reverse time.
Inspired.
Exactly. I think that's pretty sweet. That's a really cool thing to do. And that's how time works, right?
Better than atmospherics. Actually, no, it's a lie. That was fucking stupid.
I genuinely think it might be.
Maybe Superman is
User entered
unfilmable.
your channel.
Alright, mute this guy.
User disconnected from your
Oh,
channel.
hey, that works.
Sweet, man. This is gonna be a fucking. Yeah, if anyone's wondering, we're on TeamSpeak.
Yeah,
Because we're used to record. It's not just. It's
No,
not
no, not if anyone's wondering. You're gonna edit this out.
yeah.
You're
This
gonna
is way
actually
in.
go in and
Yeah.
take out this bullshit.
Sometimes I can't. Like
No,
Aaron will
you
be
do.
talking to
You are gonna edit this out.
channel. So it's not like we're sitting in a really professional studio and people are walking in and we have this weird announcer who just says someone's entered the room.
You can get rid of the someone's entered the room though.
Yeah.
It's easy.
So yeah, we're just sitting in a studio. Someone enters and then they go motherfucker bitch, and we're like, can you please leave?
Well, it's not my fault our announcer is overzealous. One day we'll have a studio.
No.
I'll hang my mic from the light fittings. You wait.
Oh shit.
I'll rig it up nice, guys.
Wherever I hang my mic, that's my home.
Alright, I think we got lost from the...
Yeah, so I mean, yeah, that's Man of Steel. I mean,
Yeah, I guess I kind of want to bring this up is the whole kind of Justice League aspect of it all. I mean, short of kind of the Wayne Enterprises and like the Lex Corp references, then like sequel wise, I don't know where this is going to go. Like I said, I don't think it can go to Lex Luthor.
I did. Lex Luthor has been overdone so much. Like Gene Hackman did a good Lex Luthor. Let's just leave it.
I guess.
Because Lex Luthor is basically just a property mogul, wasn't he?
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, now fucking Superman's taken the gloves off on the killing policy. Like, whatever. I mean,
No, he
Lex
did it
Luthor's
by
not even
accident.
a
He did it
threat.
because he had to.
He didn't have to.
There
He
is a
did not have
difference.
to.
There is a difference between necessary killing and hey, I'm gonna kill everyone.
Not necessary. Like that would be, if that was in the fucking Frank Miller comic, that would have so much fucking like emphasis on it.
Yeah, he
Like-
could have like thrown him into the sun or
Could have
something.
done
That's what I thought would
anything.
happen.
He could have jumped. Like, he literally could have jumped or turned. If he can break his neck, he can turn him to the side.
That's true. But then what would he do?
He would fucking knock him out because that's what Superman does.
You can't knock him out.
He can knock him out. You can snap a man's neck. You can knock him out.
Listen, you.
If he was fucking
Well, I mean,
choking him, he could have applied a
I
fucking
think-
stranglehold
I
to
think it
that
was
guy.
more to do with the realization that he like General Zod couldn't be allowed to live because he would always be too dangerous, and that Superman would have to babysit him for every
never
remaining
stopped
hour
Superman
of his life.
before. Never stopped Superman before.
I think
Um,
Superman should just kill.
Superman should never kill.
I think it was
That's
because
not
it
hope,
was never
Harvey.
really it was never really emphasized in Man of Steel that he doesn't kill.
Then I think that's a fundamental flaw with
He
it.
kills
an
a lot of
adaptation
people. Yeah,
Superman.
I wasn't really sure they didn't kill. Like he seemed to be like beating the shit out of people
We-
quite heavily.
I agree. He didn't show much kind of concern for people. Also, how did their helmets only smash after a certain amount of pressure? Those helmets must be made out of a lot if they can take like 5 Superman punches before they're like, yeah, right, we're gonna buckle.
Well, I mean, like, what? So Superman still beats them when they have armor on, and he's got what I assume is like a fucking like nightwear or something.
Yeah, I guess it's long
Like,
johns.
just something that you
'cause,
go
like,
to bed in?
General Zod strips down at one point to his long johns as well.
Right. I like
Yeah.
the I like the like the only like change in sort of you know army wear that they made in 2,000 years was just hey guys, should we get rid of the cape? Yeah, all right.
Lots more spikes.
Exactly.
Lots
More
more
spikes, less cape.
Got it. You're a genius.
Exactly.
This revolutionized how we fight wars against very unspecific moons.
Really.
So yeah, Man of Steel. Horrific disappointment. Can't believe it's getting 60s as well, and like, you know, not terrible reviews.
I
And
mean,
a
it's getting,
sequel.
the ones I'm seeing, I'm seeing 50s, and I think 50 is fine.
I don't know. I'd say
Yeah, I
this
think
is
50 is alright for that movie.
fair enough. Did you guys see Green Lantern? Because I'd say this is kind of Green Lantern level catastrophe.
No, I didn't. I mean, if Green Lantern's this like average, then that's fine. I've heard it's way fucking worse. To be honest, I was expecting something way worse.
I think I'm just more. I think it was because I wasn't as excited for Green Lantern, and I was kind of banking on this being good. I don't know.
Okay, so that
Yeah.
makes you hate it more. Fair enough.
Yeah, well, you know, it's like Yahtzee's little chart about hype versus reality.
True. Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, no, I mean, it was a shame because now I've been disappointed with Cinema 4 times in a row, which is a lot.
Wait, what are the other three? Because
Uh.
World War Z is the only one for me recently.
Iron Man
Yeah,
3, Iron
we
Man
have-
3, Star Trek Into Darkness,
Really
then The Great Gatsby,
interesting.
and now this.
Yeah, Goya, Lerman, Abrams, and whoever the fuck wrote Iron Man 3 have a lot to answer for.
Linda
Oh,
or something.
that guy, the guy who did fucking Lethal Weapon.
Yeah,
wasn't
the Lethal Weapon guy.
it? Yeah. Well, I mean, movies are in a fucking weird state at the moment, seemingly.
Well, everyone's trying to be clever and insightful, but not pulling it off at all.
No, I mean, everyone's just trying to be fucking Nolan. That's it. Like, all the fucking Brahms
But
during
only,
those trailers was
only
blowing
Nolan
my
can
mind.
do Nolan.
And Nolan fucked it up.
See, this
Nolan
is
literally
why
fucked up.
I like Nolan is good at it. Like whenever people
Sorry,
slag on
Nolan
Nolan,
just
Nolan
fucked
is
up being Nolan. I just realised what happened.
Nolan came up with the story. Like, come on. Goya was in control of everything else. Goya could have said, "Yeah, Nolan, whatever," and Goya was in control of the story as well.
Sorry. We'll let you talk.
All right, well, when Interstellar comes out and fucking kicks ass, then we'll see.
Okay. Anyway,
Yeah,
that's,
I'm
that's
still
the
excited for anything that Nolan does at all. Like anything that he makes is still like a massive hype machine in my book.
Yeah.
When is Interstellar out anyway? Is it soon?
2015. So we got a while.
Well, alright then. Plenty of time to get back the mojo.
We'll do a we'll do a discussion in next week's podcast about a movie that's coming out in 2 years. We'll talk about what we think Nolan will do next.
Oh hell yeah.
But
That'll be worthwhile.
but yeah, on from one average thing to one of the best fucking games I've ever played.
Wow, that's gone up in your
It's the-
estimation since I left.
It's The Last of Us. It's so good. I mean, it's repetitive.
Mm.
Yeah. 'cause
I've heard great things as well, like
I-
not just from you as well.
man,
so-
it's just fuck yes. It's violent. It's got a damn fine story, and it's got just the ending or the last few acts. Like it does a thing where it completely turns a character on its head, and that's impressive. Like to make you view a character in a completely different way, but in a not cheap way, in a way that completely fits their personality. It completely changed what the entire story is about.
Simon, do you know what this spoiler is?
I presume so, yeah.
Yeah.
In that case, feel free to tell me because I won't be playing it because I don't have a PS3, unfortunately. So go for it.
Should we go spoilers?
Well, let's just discuss it briefly before we go into spoilers, I guess. Then, so go on, lay the concept on us.
Okay, so well, you know the concept of The Last of Us, or do you want me to just go into it?
Well, I meant like kind of zombies, man,
So
man and girl combo. Stuff
PS3
like that.
exclusive, obviously. Naughty Dog from the creators of Uncharted. They've they've really gone out their way now to do something that isn't light-hearted and kind of action. Like it's not like, oh, this person is killing, but they're still good. Like this is just. So anyway, it's set 20 years after an apocalypse where a corpus something, I forget, but anyway, a fungus has taken over human brains, and basically what it does is it basically does what fungi do when they take over an animal. It just changes your behavior, and so that's basically what it does. It takes over humans, and they're being told to fight, to bite people, or literally just go and die in a corner and release spores, and that has caused a mass sort of like that's caused a mass extinction of humanity. Everyone's infected. There have been like quarantine zones which are being controlled by military coups, and the main character Joel is in order to get some weapons back from a group called the Fireflies. He's asked to transport a girl who is immune to the infection to a Firefly camp in Colorado.
Which, you know, I mean,
Yeah.
like, kind of immune person needs to be transported is a fairly kind of standard zombie plot. But
Yeah.
I think, from what I saw at least, the way it's presented and the way it kind of the game plays itself, it puts it kind of above average.
Well,
And I'm guessing it
Yeah,
continued in that strength.
All the writing and acting is absolutely incredible.
yeah.
Like, better than in any other game.
Well, this and like the thing is, even like, because I've seen a lot of people recently saying that this game needs to be a movie, but this is what I've kind of noticed over this. Like, what I sort of noticed after that was like, based on how good The Last of Us is, like especially how good television is, and like whenever we watch a movie now, it just seems to be like, you know, sort of more underdeveloped stuff. I'm getting the feeling that actually movies are quite like the worst form of storytelling medium. You know, if the games and TV and books are done right, because it's the one place where you have the least amount of time.
I think for adaptations, they're definitely the most flawed medium because you just
Yeah.
got an idiot. Like, it's like when we heard they were going to make a Battlestar remake, or a film, we all agreed that was stupid.
Like we've seen
Like,
Razor barely does anything. with its,
Exactly.
like,
I
don't
mean,
know.
no, I mean, films. Yeah, if you've got something that can be self-contained within a film, then that's fine. But if you're trying to adopt something like a comic book or like a book per se, or say a long-running TV franchise into a thing, which is actually interestingly enough, everything you said in your disappointed list has either been a comic book, a book, or a long-running TV franchise that
Sure.
you're disappointed in. Bam.
But yeah, the Last of Us is like it takes its time to tell a story, and so it's like sort of it is like the combat is basically sneaking around in rooms, and violently taking people down, like very violently, and the combat is like completely really dynamic. So like if you bring someone over to a table, you'll start like smashing them into the table, and it all flows absolutely perfectly. Like I didn't have any glitches while playing that game. And like it all completely worked perfectly, and it was it's just a very violent, like nice combat system, which kind of feels like, you know, everything feels like it's not that sort of problem in like modern games that I've noticed. Like the more like you know, in old games, like you'd have like an interact button, and it felt like you were just like pressing a button whenever the game told you to. Like I always thought modern games, the idea was that you'd be able to play more freely in the environment without like the game actually like forcing you into just to like hit a button to interact. But you see that a lot in modern games because games really don't know how to do like set pieces and stuff other than having you just click buttons to input and like just interact with stuff. But Last of Us does a really good sort of contextual system where you're constantly in a sort of in the game, and it breaks it up with like walking sequences, and the characters are constantly talking, so you're constantly getting told stories outside of the cutscenes. And basically it just continues in that vein, and it tells a very long story, and it's a very depressing story about a man who is transporting a girl. But what's most interesting is it obviously goes down the line of like sort of Joel has lost his daughter. So the entire like the Ellie and him relationship, what's interesting is that like sort of he's incredibly guarded. So for about 3/4 of the story, Joel just acts like a dick to Ellie. And sort of it doesn't really like have that sort of slow like sort of, ooh, you know, they're getting to know each other along the road. Like Joel is an asshole for a lot of the story, but you understand why.
Mm.
Yeah.
Weird, because you're shown. I mean, I saw
Yeah.
the bit where his daughter dies. That's like that's the very first thing, isn't it?
Yeah, and it was genuinely got me.
Yeah,
I
it
felt
was
like
it was a pretty hard scene to watch as I
Yeah.
peeked over from my 3DS.
But yeah, and also the thing about and then there's also the like, because what I like about it is like Ellie has grown up in a violent world, so it's not like the relationship isn't reciprocated.
Reciprocated?
Yeah, that's the one. So like Ellie isn't looking for a father figure, so Ellie just wants Joel to like
Not kill her.
yeah, Ellie just wants Joel and her to be friends. I do find it funny that the entire story rests on the idea that we want a 50-year-old man and a 14-year-old girl to be friends. Like, why should we give a shit? Why shouldn't they just get their journey over and be done with it?
But yeah,
like,
I mean,
yeah,
I was kind of sad that he was being nasty to Ellie. I gained a quick attachment to that girl.
And it makes you think, but like, so, you know, it makes you, but it does make you care. And like, Joel is sort of the entire sort of game. Joel is slowly coming to terms with sort of how he's lost everything, whereas Ellie is fine.
Does
Ellie
he
is
care
like-
about her by the end of it or not?
He does, yeah. I mean, do you want me to?
Yay.
I'd happily go into spoilers if you want.
Well, I mean, have we got anything else to discuss non-spoiler wise before we do? Because I want you to in the end, because otherwise we're not going to have a good discussion about this really. But
Fair enough. But I mean,
mean-
gameplay wise, I've told you everything and like story setup.
yeah, from what I saw, I mean, the
And
clickers.
well, it's every bit as linear as we've come to expect from Naughty Dog, and I think like in terms of like serious merits of game design, that probably would have to work against it.
I did, yeah.
How do you
go on.
mean? Like, the linearity is bad?
Well, yeah.
Really?
Well, I don't know, because it deprives a certain level of experience.
I did think that, like,
It
given
has
the
quite
systems
large
they were...
open areas. I know for the most part. Like it,
Well, I haven't played as much of it. Well, I haven't seen as much of it as you have, but
Okay.
it seemed generally, as a rule, the openness was just for show and not actually physical.
true. It's just large. Like it's more arenas than open areas. But like, yeah, no, I think that kind of story kind of needs linearity, and like I don't think it matters because like it's all about just combat for the most part, and the combat works within an area like that, within like big open areas.
I did
And,
think
yeah, go on.
that, like, kind of like when I was looking at you crafting stuff and all that, I did
Mm.
think that whole system seemed kind of a bit overkill for a linear game. Like, I don't know.
Well, I mean, there are lots of like you'll be walking down a street and there are lots of houses to explore, so it kind of always feels like you're ransacking. And the thing
Okay.
is, I like the crafting system. I like the crafting system because it does have that sort of like you'll be because you're always constantly running out of ammo, and there'll be a point where you're just like stuck like behind a bit of a waist high wall, as you usually are in cover shooters. The thing about the cover system is I like there isn't one. It's like Joel will just go to a bit of cover and like look like he's crouching behind it. Like he'll like put his hands up to it and like sort of work his way around. Like I like that it'll like.
But everything
feels-
was very
it feels very-
contextual.
Yeah, if it's very contextual, that's all I'm complimenting. But yeah, when you're behind a wayside wall, like crafting a fucking smoke bomb because there's a guy coming round the other side, and you have to throw that at him, like it is incredibly gripping. Like it's so tense, and I think the crafting system, the crafting system is just an added extra, and it works, and it doesn't feel tacked on because you're always so low on ammo. Like it feels like you're always needing to make stuff, especially on the harder difficulties.
That is good. Go on then.
Yeah.
So, spoil it for us. Spoilers coming.
Mm-hmm.
Last of Us spoilers.
So,
Go on.
unless you want to play it, I mean,
I ain't got a PS3. I'm not gonna play it.
so basically, the ending is and I like so yeah the idea of turning a character on its head. Basically, Joel near the end, like there's a point where Joel gets injured, and Ellie looks after him, and you play like multiple characters. You play Ellie for quite a lot of it. But and you sort of see how Ellie becomes slowly like even in a world where she's always been violent, like she kills a lot of people, and like the journey basically just ruins both of them, and that's what's like so good about it. Like it is just unrelentingly dark and just depressing. So like there's a bit where like Ellie hacks, like it's so angry at someone that she just hacks his head open with a machete over and over again, and Joel has to pull her off him. But like there's a moment where Joel has always called his daughter baby girl, and so there's a moment where Joel's hugging her and he calls her baby girl, and it's like how he sort of starts to sort of feel protective over her, not just in a sense that he's got to get her to their objective, but he actually starts enjoying her company, and like he's very mean to her. Like he definitely, like he says a lot of the time, like because there's a moment where like he's saying that she's not his daughter, and that's what annoys him. But then he comes to realize that yes, his daughter and her are a different thing, but he still loves Ellie as much as his daughter. Like he sort of sees her as another daughter. But yeah, so they basically get to the immunity center after a lot of traveling, like almost a year, and they get there, and it turns out that Ellie is going to have to be like they're going to have to remove Ellie's brain to find a cure because the immunity, like the mutation of the fungus, happened inside her brain. Anyway, a lot of people have complained about this bit because it seems like it's setting up like a moral choice that you're going to have to make. What I quite like is that it wants to tell a story, and it doesn't have like, remember I was telling you that problem with Spec Ops. No, I didn't tell you the problem with Spec Ops, the ending. But anyway,
No.
like if the problem with multiple endings is if you're trying to, like, especially as hard as you're trying to set up themes in a game, you can't really have multiple endings because some endings will work better with the theme, so you'll just get a bad ending. So it really just says, here's the ending, we're just gonna sum up everything, just enjoy it while you're playing it. But anyway, so Joel can either save Ellie or just or leave her, and basically in saving her he'll doom humanity. And Joel saves Ellie, like he kills everyone in that fucking.
Wait, so it's not a moral choice?
No, it's not a moral choice. They don't bother,
Okay.
which I liked. A lot
That's
of people
good, yeah.
complaining about, but I like they just wanted to set up something and go with it. So Joel just kills. Well, I killed. He kills everyone in the immunity center. He saves Ellie, and there's a woman who she's Ellie's protector, and she's the one who says, we have to kill Ellie for humanity. And they have like a very small discussion about it before Joel kills her, just in cold fucking blood, because he knows that she'll come after him. And it's in the end, we know that Joel and Joel's driving away, and Ellie wakes up in the back of the car because she's been unconscious the whole time, and asks, what happened. And he says, oh yeah, they've given up on the project. It's fine. We're going home. And then it shows them walking to go and find another settlement, and Ellie asks, I would have died for this cause. She's perfect. She'd have been perfectly fine with dying, and she says, Joel, tell me if you're telling the truth about whether or not they actually didn't need me. And Joel says, I swear to God, they didn't need you. Your destiny isn't to save humanity. And she says, okay. So it ends with Joel telling her a lie, not to benefit her, but to benefit himself, because he's become so obsessed with the idea of regaining his old life and treating Ellie like his daughter. It's like he wants a second chance to get back the life he had. And it really makes Joel incredibly fucking selfish. You can completely understand his reasons because he's had such a shit life, but he's completely given up on humanity. And those last bits really turn Joel on his head and make him seem like just such a dick, but in a good way. It doesn't
I was gonna say that seems like
Yeah.
just an issue. I wouldn't. I think to call him a dick is to demonize him too
no, but
harshly on one side or the other.
well, it's sort of the whole film is just the whole film, the whole
But I
game
mean,
is.
I think that really betrays
Yeah.
the frame we're talking about this in.
Well, the whole game is just there isn't good and bad. There's just necessity, and Joel isn't a bad man for doing what he did. You can completely understand his reasons. That, to be honest, yes, he's completely given up on humanity, and it makes sense because the whole game, he's just seen how ugly everyone is and how ugly everyone's become by just survival, and he's just doing exactly the same. Except his survival is he needs to find a reason to go on, and Ellie is that reason.
That sounds really good.
Yeah, and
like I said, I'm impressed by what they apparently managed to create.
And so that's the whole sort of, Last of Us. Whenever people say it should be a movie, I think games are clearly Naughty Dog, Hitman Absolution failed to do it because Hitman Absolution doesn't know how to tell a story and have gameplay, whereas because it just dumps you in corridors and has set pieces happening around you, whereas Naughty Dog have really pulled off a good sort of combination of you are playing a story, and that's what's so impressive about it.
Well, yeah, 10 out of 10, well summarized.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I only wish.
I feel like
Anyway.
I talked for a very long time there.
No, yeah, no, it's good. I mean, well, that's what we only watched it. I mean, my impression is basically what you said, that it was quite a well story-driven, quite excellently written, also a very good combat video game. And I'm sad that it's not on the PC.
So I should get a PS3.
I think it's a bit too late for that.
But I definitely think it's the last big flagship IP for the PS3.
Yeah, I mean, do you think? I guess that's the next thing. Do you think there'll be a Last of Us 2?
The director said he wouldn't go Joel and Ellie because he's done their story, but he wants to do more stories. personally, I think there's like 1,000 stories you could tell inside that like apocalyptic area. But to be honest, I think the main theme of the apocalypse is just of like of a place like that is just you do what you need to survive. And I think Last of Us has just completely done that so well. And to be like the combat, I can't really think of any combat tweaks. Like if you remove guns, really all you've got is crafting, beating the shit out of people with baseball bats with nails on them. And I think I really think that Last of Us is basically done as well as you can do in that situation.
Oh, damn. So the perfect game.
I think the perfect game, and as perfect as it could have been.
Not a perfect game.
It could have had certain sections removed.
Well, as in
because
you
it wants
can't
it to
build on
drag.
it then. That's what I
Yeah,
meant more
you
than
can't
perfect.
build on what I've seen really.
I mean, nothing is perfect, really.
But like there could have been it could have been shorter, but aside from that,
I don't like to be down on it because it seems like it was a really good game, but like your account of things, Harvey, is incredibly one-sided. So I feel like I have to point out when it's sort of linear, and I don't really see how the combat has changed much from Uncharted, other than just the emphasis on melee. And I think like the Uncharted family has like in general an incredible like talent for spectacle and sort of quality of animation and like seamlessness and immersive qualities, but in terms of gameplay is sort of quite scant.
well, it's a stealth melee game. I mean, like it's got as much gameplay as you'd need for that type of game.
Well, I think it looks fairly formulaic and of the repetitive nature that Uncharted is built upon.
Well, it's toned itself down from Uncharted, so I think sort of it makes you feel like every kill matters more.
There's less firefights.
Yeah. And there's barely any firefights. Except, well, I think like it mixes up because it will go from like stealth, and then sometimes it will throw you into a situation where you've got to like really be shooting, and then at times it has puzzle solving. But the puzzle solving is very simple, but it definitely like it's got like 3 types. It's got puzzle, like full-on combat, and a set piece bit obviously, and then it's got sort of stealth kills, and I think it like mixes them up enough. Like obviously it starts to show around the end because it's a 15-hour game. But for the most part, I think it like mixes up what it uses a lot better than Uncharted does.
I've never played any Naughty Dog game, I don't believe.
Right.
So...
But then again, Uncharted's a very different game because it's like comparing Indiana Jones with The Road. Like you can't really do it.
True, but it would be like if the same production company had made both. Like judging from what I saw of The Last of Us, he did just look like a grizzled Nathan Drake.
Definitely.
Obviously, with less happy endings in store as well, and smug fucking smiles.
Definitely, there's no smug. I don't think Joel smiles once in this.
That's pretty sad.
Like, I think he smiles like out of relief when he beats the shit out of someone. But aside from that, that's it. Like it's just a miserable game.
Yeah, which is is needed sometimes. I'm tired of happy endings.
Peppered with funny dialogue, stuff like that.
Well, true. I mean, the girl was charming, if nothing else.
But no, so I can see why it would. I think I think the problem is like with most games, like they are repetitive until you play them, and then the whole situation changes. Like yes, it is repetitive when you're behind a wall for like the 15th time, about to bludgeon someone in the head with a baseball bat. But like the fact it's so immersive and like sucks you in, makes every encounter matter.
Every baseball bat.
Yeah.
But I know you're predisposed to these games. You literally have no filter when it comes to these games.
What?
It's true. You are the PS3/Naughty Dog's bitch.
But I hate lots of PS3 exclusive games. I just like well-made games.
No, I mean the Naughty Dog games.
I didn't like Uncharted 3.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah. I thought Uncharted 3 like put you in a corridor and just made you walk around solving unhard puzzles that like people would just spout the answer to. So what was even the point? Last of Us is genuinely good.
I was gonna say The Last of Us did look like a shade above any Uncharted game I've ever witnessed.
Exactly. Well, sort of, they're just such different.
And I
games.
can't wait to see the Joel Ellie combo be the new Ice Climbers in PlayStation Battle Royale 2.
Oh, fantastic! Oh, but Joel really wouldn't fit in that. Like, imagine Joel like punching the shit out of Fat Princess.
I don't know. I can see him like strangling Nathan Drake. I would pay good money to see him strangle Nathan Drake.
Damn, Joel would win in a fight against Nathan Drake. Although Nathan Drake has like hero.
He's well nourished as well.
Exactly.
He's eaten something in the past
Well,
5 years.
I think the thing is, like, because Nathan Drake's from a 15 rated game, and Joel's from an 18 rated, like, Nathan Drake would just be expecting Joel to throw punches and not, you know, sort of grab
fucking
a pair
shiv
of,
him in the
grab
neck.
a pair of scissors and just stab up his throat.
Yeah, maybe Joel doesn't fit in with
Like,
the
there's
Battle Royale universe.
There's an excellent bit where Joel is looking for Ellie, and you take two people hostage, and Joel just fucking tortures them in a room, and like, you know, he shoots them in the leg, he beats them up, like he fucking starts beating one in the head with a baseball bat, and he just mercilessly kills both of them, and he has just lost all patience, like with treating anyone with any mercy. Like, Joel is such a more broken man than Nathan Drake will ever be. Like, Nathan Drake is looking for treasure, you know, whereas Joel is looking for a reason to live.
Yeah, I guess Nathan Drake's already got like kind of 3 or 4 of the hierarchy of needs pyramids done, whereas Joel's still working on kind of number 1, like love.
Yeah, but it's one of, like, I mean, you've seen The Last of Us, so like you basically get what it's about and how it would play. Holding the controller doesn't like change much other than you're just more involved, and you get to make the decisions. But it's
I think my only criticism would be the volume would be turned down when I played it. Or not down, but further down than you had it.
It's my house, Aaron.
Perfectly
my house,
good.
my rules. But
I'm looking for. I mean, yeah, it's the best zombie product of the year probably, because World War Z is not gonna fucking.
Yeah, do you want to talk about World War Z? Like, I know what the book's like, and I've read bits.
Well, I was considering doing like a little solo rant, because I was like on YouTube or something, because I didn't really want to burden you, because, you know, like it would just be me talking. But yeah, it's like very.
I've just talked for ages. You go.
Very briefly, in the most kind of basics of forms, then the World War Z Brad Pitt movie is absolutely nothing like the book, and I'm not saying that in a kind of like fucking artsy book critic way. I'm saying that in the book is because the book is done in an oral history form, which, for those of you who don't know, is a historian goes around and he interviews individual accounts of people to build a picture of how an event occurred. In this case, the particular World War Z.
Is World War Z happening, or is it finished?
World War Z has happened. It is done by the time of the interviews. It is it's mostly done. Obviously, zombies still exist because these cleanup operations take a while, but World War Z is largely won. Humanity has survived. But each oral history is from a different, normally, well, not always a different country, but always a different person, and is just Max. The character, I think, is actually supposed to be Max Brooks after the zombie invasion, and he's just talking to each person, and consequently that gives you quite a rich history, because you've got like a guy from Israel, like one of the top kind of military advisors. You've got this South African apartheid guy. You've got like a Cuban billionaire, because Cuba's really rich. You've got this blind guy who was in a park in Japan for the entire thing, who's really cool. And like each one of them is like a really kind of rich, interesting story, and it all factors into a very broad world view of how the entire World War Z occurred. Ergo, the film is all about Brad Pitt visiting 3 locales and just shooting people. It's just a bland kind of action film. The zombies are completely different as well. Like, this is one of the things that really bugged me, is they didn't even get the zombies. They didn't even care if the zombies were the same, because obviously slow zombies that are really hard to kill are boring. You want fast zombies that die in one shot.
Yeah, the Brad Pitt describes as more scientifically accurate.
Completely and utterly false. Like, anything that's died and come back to life is gonna be slow as fuck.
Well, exactly, and also like I like the way like predators, like lions, you know, run around all day.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, yeah, just constantly. Also, the fucking like people are laughing at the zombies. Like, your movie has failed fundamentally if people are laughing at your zombies. Like, oh, also Malcolm Tucker's in this film. I forgot to mention.
Sweet.
Like, they go to Wales and he's playing a Welsh guy, because, you know, British people are all the same, right? So,
Jesus Christ.
yeah, him and Brad Pitt like have a little talk, and he's like, Oh yeah, that's another food thing. Like, this is really this is just the minorest nitpick ever. Like,
Yeah.
he's in a hospital in Wales because that's apparently where all the viruses are stored in the world now.
Spoiler.
And you know, Cardiff is the place to be. And so he like stops at this vending machine, and out falls a can of Mountain Dew, like American style. And then he also gets some grape soda, which, as we all know, is not sold in this country at all. And I thought that was just the most basic thing to get wrong ever. But no, I mean, actual movie, like they in its defense, it visits two locales from the book, which is Israel
Yeah.
and South Korea.
In India. By the way, have you seen the trailer and main movie difference?
No.
There's a bit where he says like, "How can I get into India?" in the movie. In the trailer, he says, "How can I get into Russia?" And it's because they refilmed the entire third act.
Wait,
So
India? Wait, he never goes to India in the trailer either.
No, yeah,
in
but
the movie.
well, in the trailer in the movie, he mentions a different country in that sequence, and I guess they were
Okay.
twiddling with the script so much that they just completely.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's the other thing. It's all over the place. Like, there's some and like characters just appear and disappear, and a character who I genuinely thought wasn't even a character turns out to be someone who lasts till the end, and like there was no kind of focus or anything. And like I said, they visit two places. They visit South Korea, which is basically all shot at night and is just in a bunker. And they visit
It could have been
Israel.
anywhere then.
And yeah, exactly. And Israel is a really specific kind of interesting story. Like, to cut Israel's story short, Israel basically is one of the few countries that survives the zombie invasion because basically it's implied that after all the years of Arab like kind of wars of genocide against them, then they've become so paranoid that anytime they hear about something that's about to happen, they prepare for it. So Israel builds a massive wall and shelters a large majority of the Arab population as well throughout the war. The film, obviously, like Brad Pitt flies over to Israel to see how they're doing so well, because obviously America's not doing so well.
Yeah, just
And-
check it in.
Yeah, exactly.
Ask
Well,
us for some hints.
I mean, how he even gets the ability to fly over there is completely retarded anyway. But that's a whole. Like I said, I want to keep this kind of brief.
Yeah, he's got very good travel for something that's supposed to be so devastating.
He's got like the entire fucking military behind him. I don't because that's the thing. He's supposed to be like a kind of badass survivalist before he retired,
Yeah.
but he's never had any. And he's also implied he's kind of had vague experience with zombies, but he obviously can't have because no one saw this coming, and so he appears to just be a quite well trained CIA guy who, for some reason, people it's like that kind of RPG syndrome where other characters can't do anything except for Brad Pitt. Like Brad Pitt is the only person capable of getting things done.
What's his job then? What does he do?
He was in wars and war zones. That's his job. Is
he like doing journalism or is he just
No, I think he was
checking
like
in?
I guess he was an agent or something, but he never did anything. I think he just was there. Like they never say he did anything. It's like, oh yeah, you were in Sierra Leone and Kosovo and fucking Nicaragua and all those places, and they never say what he did. He can just use a gun quite well.
Oh.
But and so he goes to Israel, and obviously like Israel's doing well, and then because obviously you can't just have him leaving Israel as happens in the thing, and Israel's still bang.
We'd love for some people to leave Israel.
Israel's just got to fall to a merciless zombie invasion because that's a cool exiting scene, and like it makes no sense as well. Like, cause it's not even like a cool way. Like, have you seen those pictures of the zombie pyramid?
Yes, I have.
Like, which also makes no sense.
Well, they act like ants, aren't they? They wave over each other. Like that's how they get over walls. They just run really fast.
Well, amazingly, no one in Israel, the entire of Israel, noticed that zombie pyramids are forming on the side, despite the fact it's shown like 3 scenes earlier that regular helicopter patrols patrol outside the wall, and so all these fucking zombies just swarm over the wall. And then the entire of fucking Israel falls in a day, like like while Brad Pitt is running, like that's it, like that is.
And is that how does it end? Does it set it up for a sequel?
Well, it's getting a sequel because somehow it ends
World
with
War II.
Brad. Oh, that's something they changed the cure because in the book there's no cure.
Okay.
In the book, humanity gets decimated. They flee. They start to set up heavy industry and like massive paranoia protocols in America, at least. Like different places have different cures, of course. But in America, they all retreat to the other side of the Andes. They set up heavy industry and they basically fucking murder every zombie very slowly from California all the way to fucking Washington.
Yeah.
And like in this one, miracle cure. If you inject yourself with fucking AIDS, then you're immune and they can't see you.
AIDS.
Well, any deadly disease. So Brad Pitt fucking injects himself.
Hang on.
walks out-
So if you infect yourself with a disease that's worse than zombie,
No, if you
disease.
infect yourself with a disease that is terminal, then they can't see you. And
Really?
Brad Pitt works this out because
syphilis?
I guess
I guess that's terminal if you leave it. What about chickenpox? Given the right circumstances.
I don't know what exactly. Terminal is such a fucking asinine fucking description, but basically Brad Pitt works this out because
that would be quite a good test. You could give yourself cancer and walk out, and if the zombies see you, be like, oh, thank God, it's not terminal. Go on then.
But Brad Pitt works this out over the course of like the film. He has this like realization when he's stuck in a fucking hospital in fucking Wales with Malcolm Tucker.
Yeah.
And he
calling him a cunt. Well, it's constantly.
And he's like seen like in Israel he saw a bunch of guys run past a bald kid, and then in South Korea he saw a Marine with a limp, and the zombies didn't touch him. And he's like, wait a second. Yeah, exactly. The limp one makes no fucking sense. And he's like, wait a second. The zombies don't touch those that are dying.
Right.
And it's like, apparently they only want healthy flesh. If Brad Pitt claimed that this is legitimately more scientific than Max Brooks, I'm going to find him and punch him.
The director said it was.
Oh, fuck.
Clearly they just wanted fast zombies.
Well, yeah, they wanted fast zombies, and then they wanted a really easy cure. And so basically, after that, then the fucking like deathcore Marines or whatever they're called, like start injecting themselves with fucking HIV or something. And then
HIV isn't always terminal.
But wait a minute, aren't they gonna die of HIV then?
Well, no, I'm joking when they say HIV. It's like meningitis or something. But they just
Sweet,
say any
just regular old meningitis.
So how does the zombie disease know whether the
Yeah,
thing
no, it does.
being
It
cured
can't.
by medical science?
It can't do unless it's fucking smell or something. And that's the thing. Like Brad Pitt, like they try and make a waiting scene of it. Like Brad Pitt will inject himself with something, and then like because there's a zombie outside the door, and that's why he has to inject it there and then.
Yeah.
And then he like waits for a bit. I mean, I guess like no more than 2 hours, and then walks out. It's like, how in that time has the illness fucking made you different in any way? And they run past him as well. Like they never even bump into him. It's like they're specifically avoiding him. It's just wrong.
But he's dead, right?
No, he's alive at the end.
But he's gonna die.
He's gonna die, yeah. But you know,
What's
alive
the
for now.
point?
What is the point? And you know, the very ending is like a Brad Pitt monologue. He's like, "It'll be a hard battle, but we will win.
No, there won't be a battle.
The World War Z will be over."
Everyone will inject themselves with AIDS and meningitis.
Well, that's the thing, because I don't think everyone does, because there's some weird scenes. Like there's one scene, like because like in the beginning montage and the end montage, it does this like thing where it tries to give the impression it's worldwide because it cuts to different places. So you've got like a bunch of Russian peasants hacking zombies to death with pitchforks.
I see.
And you've got like this one scene where there's some zombie pyramids forming, and they like fucking flamethrower them to death.
Right.
And so clearly some people aren't injecting themselves with this because it's still working, which makes you wonder how wide it is. Also, it's very loosely implied that the Japanese are doing quite well, I think. No, that's it. In the book, the North Koreans survive because the North Koreans will go underground. It's like a kind of strange, it's a strange thing, but it kind of makes sense. In the books, the most unnecessary change gets like this crazy CIA agent in a cage. He's gone mad because of the zombie invasion.
Why is he in a cage?
Because they don't trust him or something. Oh, because he was smuggling guns to the north. That was it. He hasn't been in a cage since beforehand, but now he's like crazy because he thinks he's going to die in the cage when the zombies come.
Okay.
And so he tells Brad Pitt that the North Koreans have all survived because within 24 hours they took out all the North Koreans' teeth. I fuck you not. That's a genuine line from the film.
They
took
remove
out
teeth
all,
and then just
all
shoot
the North
zombies.
Koreans' teeth, and then obviously if there's no teeth, no zombies. Well, apparently.
Don't they scratch?
Yes, they could fucking beat as well.
Yeah, they come in waves.
Yeah, exactly. They fucking they hammer on you. Like they actually you see one fucking hitting Brad Pitt. It's like no, that doesn't solve anything.
They remove teeth, so how are they supposed to?
Yeah,
Can the zombies get dentures?
There's no.
So
There's no
zombies.
and that's because you could easily say like, the North Koreans all went underground, because that's a kind of cool thing, because you hear that and they say like this guy speculates that like the cult just becomes more and more crazy underneath the ground, etc.
Yeah.
But no, just even good points that they mention, like Israel, North Korea, South Korea, they change and they fuck up, and they don't mention anything else, and it's just I think it's just categorically a failure. I don't understand how, like, he couldn't have cared. He couldn't have even he must have read the book, but he couldn't have cared a shit about it. Like while he was reading it, he just wanted to make him going around the world during a zombie invasion.
So all it is just Brad Pitt walking around, finds out that the cure is meningitis and that humanity's greatest threat is Dentalux.
Yep. It just works out that apparently, he pieces it all together. And apparently, it's only him who can do it as well. Like, there's this fucking Harvard scientist who's a kind of cool character, but they kill him off instantaneously because he's not Brad Pitt.
Okay, fair enough. That makes sense. That does make sense to do.
Because that's the reason he goes there originally. Because obviously they don't trust Brad Pitt to find a cure, but he does in the end. But they trust this like Indian Harvard guy, and they're like, yeah, he'll probably work it out. He's a biologist or something.
Not really a cure, killing yourself.
Well, no. I mean,
a cure would be a bullet to the head. Surely
exactly.
Well,
I think it's nice that there wasn't a cure in the original book, and that they did just have to do it by just shooting their way.
Yeah, it's probably one of the more original ideas in the zombie franchise.
And
Exactly.
unless it's airborne, it doesn't really matter if there is a cure, because to be honest, like the zombies are all dead anyway, and as soon as you get attacked by a zombie, like you get bitten. Like beaten to death, like you may as well just shoot them all anyway.
Exactly. I mean, it's a pretty nice concept as well, because like they just leave. It's not like they're trying to save people; they're just trying to recover what's left of them. It's like a survival technique. It's like it's not like we can have it as it was. It's just it's gonna be a new way, and hopefully we're in it.
Yeah, sure.
I know. Yeah, I mean, it didn't capture anything. It was. I mean, and it would have been. Yeah, I mean, it could have just been a zombie movie, and I'm not even sure if World War Z is a popular enough book that it really sold that many fans on it.
It's pretty popular.
Is it? Fair enough. I don't know. I always have a poor grasp of how popular things are outside of... Because I know people I know read it, but I know people I know like good stuff, so... I don't know.
That sounds awful.
Yeah, it was a cat. Yeah, I mean, it was just
I might watch it.
horrific.
Is it a good action movie? Or?
Yeah, that's the sad thing. It's a good zombie movie. Well, it's not a good zombie. It's an alright zombie movie, which just makes me think even more that they just didn't. They just wanted to make a zombie movie, and they just bought the first license they saw.
Okay, so
they could have bought...
license-wise, it's poor, but it is a good zombie movie.
Well, it's a solid action. I mean, it's got nice zombie effects. There's a cool couple of scenes. There's a nice plane scene. Even the first scene where they're trying to escape New Jersey is pretty interesting.
Okay.
But no, just a terrible adaptation. And it's not, it's only like a 5 or 6 out of 10 in terms of zombie films.
Fair enough.
I'd say it's worse than some of the Resident Evil films.
Are they even zombies anymore, really?
Well, no, they're fucking superpowers, but whatever.
Fair enough.
No, yeah, so there you go. You can add that to the list of things we talked about, because I think I overran.
Fair enough. That sounds that's a spoilerific episode.
Yeah, Superman, zombies.
It's not zombies. Fungi things, giant mushrooms.
Yeah, I'm surprised yours was. I'm surprised Last of Us turned into mushrooms.
I mean, it's it's basically the same thing, but it's a little twist on it.
Actually, what is the? I mean, there is. I'm just getting the zombie survival guide out. I can't remember what the scientific reason behind the zombies in Max Brooks' world are.
Is there a difference between the zombie survival guide and an oral history?
The zombie survival guide is literally Max Brooks' ways to survive a zombie apocalypse, but the book is found within World War Z, and the zombies are the same zombies, because Max Brooks apparently thinks zombies are real, but I'm not sure if that's an urban myth.
Okay, so
they are the same universe, but one is literally a book of kind of it's non-fiction in nature, because it does just tell you good ways to survive a zombie apocalypse of the nature Max Brooks has laid out.
Okay, but they're separate books though.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's
I
it.
think I might have bought the wrong one.
Wait, which one did you buy? Zombie Survival Guide.
It did say Zombie Survival Guide on it.
Yeah. Well, it's a great book to read. I mean, it'll really help you out. To be fair, it's just a good kind of survival guide anyway, so it'll be good when the apocalypse comes.
Fair enough.
My recommendation.
Although one thing I must respect The Last of Us for is that it did do like a giant leap. It was like World War Z and everything is straight after the event, whereas Last of Us is 20 years in the future.
Yeah, it must be harder to do that, because I was thinking about how they kind of like socio-political kind of must have evolved.
Well, I think they just kind of have military coups that never end.
Oh, okay.
So
That must be really depressing.
yeah, it seems like you're walking down the street and you see people sort of getting shot in the street for being infected. But yeah, that's basically
Yeah.
that's that. So yeah, lots of
Good work, team. Yeah,
lots
lots
of-
of disappointments and one shining light that was the PS3. Sony's getting a lot of good press
They are.
with us. I think they should start paying us really.
Good for them. Well, we'll get in contact. Maybe we'll get a fucking automatically starting trailer on the website that can just
Yeah,
play
I can't
Sony stuff really loudly.
I just want Joel's face down both sides of the website.
Exactly.
Is that too much to ask, Sony?
I want Ellie there, and then the quote from Ellen Page saying they ripped off my like this. Oh
Sure.
god. What
Though
they
that
fucking
quote,
did.
that article did get me excited about Beyond Two Souls or whatever it's called, or Two Beyond Souls, whatever.
Exactly. I mean, I'd still like to see more stuff from that because I have no idea how that plays. Like,
No
whether or
idea.
not
But it's got Willem Dafoe and Ellen Page in it, so I've
true.
already bought a copy.
looking slightly uninterestingly like Willem Dafoe and Ellen Page.
Well, would you buy their mocap? Which of course they're going to look exactly like Willem Dafoe.
You
and
take a
Ellen
little,
Page.
like, change the face.
Like a massive gash down one side of his face.
Also, like, Willem Dafoe's creepy. He's already creepy enough without his like sort of like fucking what's it called?
Dead eyes.
Uncanny Valley.
Oh,
Dead
I
eyes.
see.
I don't want them. Like he's already almost got them. So, yeah. But yeah, okay. That was the week. Nothing happened. Well, except Snowden not being on a plane to Ecuador. But you
Oh
know,
shit! What happened about that? I didn't.
Yeah,
has that anything happened since I left?
he was going to Cuba, wasn't he? And yeah, they haven't. Yeah, he wasn't on the plane.
Is he still not? Fuck. So they got him. That's,
But I don't
that's
know. But the
horrible.
American government are saying they're very, very annoyed at Russia and Hong Kong if they allow him to get onto planes. So
Yeah, well,
we'll
I mean,
see.
they let him get onto a plane to Moscow. So
Yeah.
he was in Moscow at last. Yeah, shit, he's disappeared. God fucking damn it, America.
Is he dead? What if he turns
well,
up dead?
if he's been gone for 7 hours, so we assume he's dead. Anyway, off topic. Yeah, all that happened this week was Man of Steel came out. Don't worry about politics, people. Go back to your lives.
Exactly. Play Left 4 Dead, Last of Us if you can.
Yeah. Take your mind off the fact that the fucking government just killed a man because he told us they were spying on us.
Exactly. He's a traitor.
Traitor to his
Bloody
country.
Traitor. Anyway, so just like General Zod. No, General Zod isn't a traitor to his country.
General
Oh, no,
Zod was
he
a fucking
is.
loyalist to his plan. Oh no, he led a coup. He did lead a coup.
I think
But to
maybe the
save it. He had good
should we
intentions.
be drawing comparisons between Snowden and Zod?
I think not Zod. I think Snowden would have liked that.
Snowden is a modern day Zod.
Yeah, he led a
Jul-
coup.
And
Coup
Julian
against tyranny.
Assange is, the Superman, waiting for Zod in the safety zone of
we all know Dick
/
Cheney.
Ecuador.
It's the Superman.
Right.
Assange is Lex Luthor. He'll be dealt with next year.
There we go then. Thanks for listening, everyone.
Yeah, this pseudo special.
Bye.
Bye everyone.
Goodbye.
Fuck.
No